Welcome to another edition of Book of Jake. My name is Jake Abdullah. Today we got a very special guest, but before that, please like, share, subscribe, and if you can, if you find that this podcast is helpful, just pass it to somebody. Okay, without wasting any time, my guest today is a guy who is bigger than me, taller than me, much better looking than me, and younger than me. So he should be probably hosting the show, but let me introduce you to Duke. Oh, Duke, the only difference is Duke supports Manchester United.
Oh, yes.
So, although they're having a turbulent time, but we will not speak about that because, he's bigger than me. He might beat me up. Anyway, welcome to the Book of Jake. So, Duke, you've had so many incredible steps in your life. You played in the Japan League. You were in the US League. You were in the national team and stuff like that. So let's start at the beginning. Okay, so growing up in Malaysia, what first drew you to rugby?
From 13 years old, Form 1, I was moved from Sungai Petani to Penang.
Mm-hmm.
My coach was the teacher in the school too.
Okay.
And he always protected me from getting away from all the problems.
What problems are you talking about? Hooliganism and gangsterism?
Not really gangsterism, but I just beat up people who anybody
It's called gangsterism in my neck of the woods.
But if they call me any names, I don't like it. So I just beat them up.
What were the names you were called?
So they would call me Negro or anything, and I don't like it because I always grow up with miserable. Like, why am I different from everybody else? Why am I not looking like... Because I'm Indian. So Indian community, I'm the only one who will be tallest, darkest, and looks unique from everybody else. So I
at least you cognizant that it was unique, not it was bad.
Now I feel it's unique. But at that time I was like, why am I different than everybody else? So I'm always miserable.
Were you taller than a regular person?
Yes, I'm always tallest in the room. So I always, when I walk into the room, everybody like, who the hell is this guy, man? Whose son is this?
Can you check his IC? Is he under 12 or under 15?
It's are you sure it's your son? And in the school too, the teachers look at me and then they're like, who's your parents? Your parents are Indians? I'm like, yes, they're Indians. And it's hurting me to me, so I don't like it. But the teacher, he wanted to discipline me. So he invited me to play rugby. Somehow rugby, at that time, I didn't really get into it, but I can run and I'm tall. I was good at the rugby, but I just played few months. And then I got kicked out from the school and I'm not playing rugby at all.
So why did you get kicked out of the school?
Same problems. It's always come back to that.
Gangsterism.
I would not say gangsterism, but a bit nakal at that time.
Okay. So what was the most nakal thing you did?
Beat up people. That's
it lah.
That's the most nakal thing I would say.
Did you play school level or state level?
So at that time I play for school. So I represent SMK, overcame at that time. And then I stopped playing until done, and my life took a toll to other side, and I end up in a rehabilitation center for a while.
Why?
Same, whatever I did in the school, it's catch up. And then I wanted to go back to the school, but my case was already there.
So can I just ask, were you an angry person when growing up?
I had a lot of energy, and I don't have any platform to put it out. Yeah. So I get aggressive.
But were you angry? And it seems to me like I can relate because I was a very angry young guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and same thing, so I grew up in Santol and so it seems that anger was not utilized and that's why you sort of lashed out.
I actually believed in that because even now I'm taking out of the topic we are talking about because recently I talked to one of the school teacher and I asked why you don't give chance to this certain race to play rugby. And they say, this race are very aggressive. If they play rugby, they get even more aggressive.
Stereotype.
I'm like, no, it's other way around. When you put them in rugby, that's what happens to me. That's what the teacher did to me. So when I was angry and putting my energies out in wrong place, the teacher aligned me to play rugby. So once I putting all my energy there, now I don't have energy to go out there and do some silly stuff. Once you show them the right part to align their energy, they won't take it to other way, wrong way.
Tell us about your rugby career. And you played for Malaysia and then you were in Japan and US lately, right?
Yes. So I started at Bukit Matajam at the Penang BM Rhino. They call it BM Rhino. I started there, and at that time I was looking for a job, 19 years old. And I didn't finish my SPM. So I told my mom, like, I want to go to Singapore. And back then, if you want to go to Singapore, you need to at least have a SPM result. At that time, I was working at the Besi Bureau at Sungai Besi for 3 years. And then I told her this salary is not enough and I need to support the family. My dad is like, hey, your elder sister is going to get married. And the sort of income is going to cut down. So you need to take responsibility. And being the Indian family, the boy have the responsibility to take over.
Which is actually quite a good thing, actually.
Yeah, it's put me in a place where...
responsibility.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to Singapore, like uneducated Indians.
Not uneducated lah. Less educated.
Less educated, less educated. That's a better way to put it. So less educated Indians' first choice is Singapore. So I told my mom, petrol station or whatever, but Singapore. So I told my mom, like, hey, I'm going to go to Singapore. I need this result. So she's like, okay, if that's what you wanted to do. She has been always supportive. Whatever decision I make, once she see it's legal, she's like, okay, go ahead.
Sounds like my mother. Is it legal? Okay,
If you're happy doing that, go ahead. So she always been supportive. And then I was moved from the Besi Bureau. I told them, like, I'm going to go to Singapore. I'm going to stop working here. I moved on to SP. And during my time, during my July paper, I bumped into the friends where I used to play rugby with at 13 years old. And they were like, bro, you are big. Can you still run?
How tall were you then?
At that time, I was somewhere around 6'1", 6. Yeah, so 19 years old.
What are you now, 6'5"?
6'6". So I'm like...
Somebody is so taller than me. Okay.
And then I told them, like, yeah, I can still run. If your dad... His father is like a Ketua Kampung there at Alma. So I'm like, if your dad can find me a job, because I'm looking for a job now. So he go and talk to his father. He asked me, like, if I want to play Sukma, Sukan Malaysia, representing Penang. I'm like, yeah, I will play, but I need a job. And he get me a job in Bukit Mutajam. And I come back home, I told my mom, like, Ma,
she must have been happy,
I don't need to go to Singapore. Now I get a job in Bukit Mutajam. But I need a motorbike from Sungai Petani to Penang every day, to Bukit Mutajam every day. And my mom, at that time, we are still struggling with making the ends meet. And my mom, like, I don't have much, but I have the one last necklace that your dad. And I took my mom, we both go to the pawn shop together. And we go to the further one, which is they give a bit more higher than the closer one. So I took her to the shop and she found that necklace and I bought my first motorbike from it. And that's how my rugby career started. And then I played for a few months and I played one tournament in Kanga and one of the Malaysia under-19 coach spotted me.
You.
And Naharudin Othman. He spotted me and then he's like, talk to my coaches, say like, hey, this tournament not allowed to bring foreign players because a lot of Fijians playing in Malaysia. And my coach was like, tu bukan Fiji lah, tu budak India dari SP lah. And that thing's becoming a laughing. And then he was like, hey bro, I want you to come down to the national team training. It's under 19. And I told him, coach, I don't even know how to play yet. Just 3 months, I just started it. And then he's like, don't worry, you just come, we will teach you how to play. We stayed there for 3 weeks before fly down to Brunei.
Was that your first international life?
International.
Yeah.
And I just joined rugby for 3 months. So I don't know what am I doing, but I'm just going with the team, following them. And during that time, I enjoyed playing rugby because before that, I always been a trouble kid. And all the parents or anybody see me, they always point out like, don't be like this guy. Like,
must have had a very traumatic effect on your thinking and your...
I think so, because my wife always complained that your childhood trauma is like getting to you sometime. Because sometimes I get...
But if that didn't happen, you wouldn't have met her and married her. So she cannot complain. Tell her that's your defense from now. Okay? So you played for the national team at what age?
20 years old.
20 years old. How long did you play for the national team?
I think I've played somewhere around 16 years.
16 years. Yeah. So what was your first break to Japan?
At 25 years old, I signed my first contract. So
is that a semi-pro or a pro?
Pro.
Pro, okay.
Yeah. So before that, I was playing at Cobra for Cobra Club, for the national team, playing sevens, everything. I was in the top tier in Malaysia playing rugby. And once signed my first contract at 25 years old at Yamaha Jubilo, I couldn't even last 10 minutes in their league.
Why?
So that's how different
the level
of rugby. But what I did well there is like from the trial until my whole year, I'm just putting in the work.
Effort.
Every time they call me down to the training, 1 day, 4 sessions of trainings, 2 sessions of weights together. And I wake up 5:30 in the morning, go back home 9 o'clock just to sleep. So I've been doing that for the whole year and still not good enough. And during the off season, Yamaha give me 2 choices. 1, you go to South Africa and train, keep training, or 2, you can go back
to Malaysia
home and we are not signing you again. And at that time, it's my do or die. Because when I'm leaving Malaysia to play that, I'm like, this might be my last chance in my life.
We paid well as a pro.
My first year, I get paid like 120K for a year.
That's not bad.
For me, yes, big money.
That's good. That's
for
good money.
me, that was a big money. I can support my family. That's big money for
big money. Yes.
Every day since the day one, I'm just every morning wake up and just pray like I want 1 more year of chances. So when they give me that option, I'm like, okay, I'm not going back home. I call my mom. I'm like, I cannot come back for the off season. I'm going to South Africa. And my mom, the picture for the family, like South Africa, they just like the animals and forests. They're like, what are you going to do in South Africa? I'm like, I don't know.
They might not let you come back. They might think you're one of them.
They're like, what are you going to do in South Africa?
How long was the training in South Africa?
2 months.
That would have been intense.
High intense because South Africa is like world champion team. So it's higher than Japan. But when I was there, they welcomed me well because the rugby, they have this culture of welcoming everybody. My turning point in rugby happens in South Africa. And that's from the second year until I played 9 years. Starting member all of the game, never.
Japan.
Yeah.
So when you were in Japan, how long were you in Japan? Did you play
years.
with somebody called Victor Matfield?
Victor Matfield is the guy who I met in South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah,
so was he your turning point?
He is. So I grew up watching him playing. So when I was in 7 years in Malaysia, they always tell me to look at Victor Matfield and Bakis Bota. These are the 2 second rows. They're playing my position. So I grew up watching them play.
Then you got to play with him.
And then I get to play and train with them. So that's...
So you were in Japan after that for how long?
9 years.
Then you came back to Malaysia?
Come back to Malaysia and I got like, I told my agent like, I want to go somewhere else because at Japan at some point I'm like...
Why did you come back from Japan?
Yeah, like at Japan at some point I'm like on the autopilot already. I'm already know what am I doing and I don't say like I'm...
improving,
challenging anything.
Okay.
So I'm like, I wanted to go somewhere. It's more challenge for me. And actually my wish come true. I went to, like I told my agent, like I want to go try somewhere else. And she got me the US deal. And she got me 2 years, but I told her like I will take 1 because I want to come back home.
Where was it? Chicago, was it?
Chicago, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But were you the biggest guy in the team now?
I thought going to US it will be like US like a big.
No, you are the biggest guy.
Still tallest in the team. I'm like, then they're calling me Big Dookie. I'm like, bro, I come to US. I thought like I will have like a similar sizing, but yeah, I was the tallest. Yeah.
So and you were a year in US?
Yeah, 7 months, 7 months plus. Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't you want to extend?
I like even when I was in Japan. For like last 2 years, there's always a thought lingering in my head, like whatever rugby has given me in my life, to changing my life to like from 1 to 50, 70. What did I give back to rugby? I always ask that to myself. And as I'm growing, getting older, the question like keep coming into me, like why am I?
Back,
how am I giving back to the community? It's every time when I go out there and play, it's always seems to be for myself. People being proud of like, oh bro, you're representing Malaysia and everything, but I feel like I'm very selfish on just going out there playing, and I don't want whatever I learned from last 10 years die with me. And then I'm like always keep sharing my thoughts with my friends. Like, bro, I think I'm gonna start an academy, and I don't know a thing, like how to do the paperwork and all these legal works and everything.
That's why you got married, lah.
And that's why I found an intelligent woman. And I don't know how to do the
Can I just say something? You said something very subconsciously there. You said, I married an intelligent woman. What makes you think you're not intelligent?
I think she's...
No, I will tell you this. In this time and age where AI is in the front, people like you and I are going to succeed. I'll tell you why. Because we don't need the help from outsiders anymore. All you just need to do is be able to adapt to artificial intelligence. Because what we have, and I see it very similar also, because I come from a very tough neighborhood, tough family, tough everything. Gangsters, and you know what I mean, lah. You know what I'm saying, lah.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we tend to put ourselves down because we want to live up to other people's standards. Do you understand what I'm saying? You think that other people are intelligent, but I'm looking at you and studying, and it says, you know what? Out of all this, you still got up. Not many people will be able to do it. So don't. Bruce Lee said, never speak down on yourself, and it actually hurts. So when I hear that, I can understand that. You know what I mean? So I am looking at you and thinking, oh, wow, you've done so much, but you don't see that, you see. You have a need to actually, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, Adu, you have a need to validation. That means, have I done better in the eyes of other people? But to me, it's like, wow. I actually don't even know you. It's the second time I met you. The first time I met you, we were in a shopping mall going up the...
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It says, who's that huge Indian fella with Lenora? You know what I mean? That's how, you know what I mean? And then I read up about you. It says, very interesting, very interesting. So don't devaluate yourself. I think you've done exceptionally well. If not, you won't be sitting down with me here. And I find it really fascinating because there is something that is still behind you saying, have I actually accomplished much? Am I right?
But I ask this question a lot with so why I say my wife is an intelligent woman.
She used to work with me. Yeah.
She always reminds me of this. And for me, yes, I have done a lot of stuff and I have put in a lot of work on my stuff. I don't want those things get into my head thinking I am entitled for something.
That's
the world own me something. You know, for me, I always like to keep myself humble. So I know where's my place is. At the same time, I will compete to a same level with anybody I want to compete with.
That's
and
great.
I can get myself in. I always tell myself, only thing I need to do is put myself in the right place because I know how to adapt quick and I know how to get better at anything I do.
That's fantastic.
That's my...
Yeah, it's fantastic. I want to know, are you still going to be in competitive rugby? No.
In competitive rugby, now I'm more into coaching. Last 3 years, I come back to Malaysia and I played. Last 2 years I played. This year I coached one of the Malaysian biggest tournament. And during that time, I just seeing myself if I have the ability to coach because playing and coaching is two
different things.
Different.
Yes, instructional and
Before when I was playing, there's only one problem is me. Like how am I condition wise? How am I preparing myself? Now, if I have 40 players, I have 40 problems. So it's totally different, more stress. But I see myself now, I'm more into coaching because I see that I have...
Who do you coach?
So recently I coached PDRM Rugby and we won the
I saw that.
Agong's Cup for the second time. So that gives me the confidence that, okay, I have this ability of coaching. Same like how I started with rugby. I don't know, people invite me to the, hey bro, you can run? I say like, I can run if you can get me what I want. And I did play rugby. And then I don't like from 5 years old wanted to be a rugby player or anything. I come across
necessity,
this.
It's a necessity.
I come across this and then it helps me. It gets me what I want and I get better at it. Like I'm just keep getting better at it every day, 1%. Same, if I get myself into anything, that's why I say I can put myself anywhere and get better at it.
I'm sure.
And it can go the other way around too. If I put myself in the wrong place,
I completely agree. It's an environment that is make or break for you. So talk to me about your injuries.
Oh, that's a lot.
Because I saw you in the hospital lately.
I did my Achilles recently. And I have broken my arms. I broke these bones into 5. And they told me like, bro, you're not going to recover from this. I recovered from this and I signed my biggest contract ever. So that's put me 5 years, 6 years ahead that I don't have to worry about getting a job. So I think if anybody tell you that something you cannot do or something goes wrong, it's maybe because of they tried it and they never succeeded and they thought they cannot do it.
They're basing their decision on their experience.
Own perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? I know you just got married. Congratulations.
Thank
it
you.
was during Deepavali, right?
Before Deepavali,
yeah. So I was just waiting for that to happen. And it was what I liked most about your approach was it was very simple. I appreciate very simple things because these days I feel people do things to impress people. Rather, you did it very simply. And Lenora forces you to do all these social media things, I know, because I can see in your face that I hate this, but I'll do it because I love you. All right. So talk to me about this marriage and how it is changing you.
So we planned to get married when she visited to Chicago. When I was in Chicago,
you proposed
last,
there, right?
last 1 month, and she came to, and no one have done. Even when I'm in Japan, nobody like come over to visit. So I have been in before relationships, and nobody have put themselves into to show or to be there for me. And when she was there, that's the moment I'm like, man, she doing all this, and she fly like 36 hours. First time ever from by herself, like to that far and everything. So at Chicago, I asked her, not even like all this social media, go on your knee with the ring, all that. Nah, I just casually asked her like, hey, do you want to get married? And she's like, you okay? You drunk or something? I'm like, yeah, I had some drinks, but that's not the matter. I really want to ask you, like, do you want to get married? And then since then, we are already planning like how to do it. And we've been talking I've been telling her to like, I don't want to make it look like it's a big celebrities and stuff. All we just keep it to ourselves. This is our own personal life. And even from the first day, she's like always support with that. And even her parents are like, I think that's the best way to do it. I don't want to like have everybody around.
As long as you're comfortable. So and I thought it was very modest, and it was I've seen weddings which people spend like millions and hundreds and thousands of dollars and then get divorced in.
Oh yeah, that's another.
Do you know what I mean? Because you're doing it for other people. You have to, So I thought it was really cute and it was nice. So what's the next stage for you?
So we are expecting baby in March.
Oh, congratulations! Oh, wow! Congratulations!
So
you're going to be a
next
appa lah.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And in your career, other than coaching, what do you do?
So the coaching, and now I have programming, Live Like an Athlete program for mostly now I'm focusing on corporate and grassroots. So I just started my own academy at Royal Selangor Club.
That's fantastic.
So there,
how much do you have to pay to get into your academy?
So now I'm charging $80 for a month.
This is really cheap. What do you do for $80? How often do I go there?
It's every Sunday, 8 to 10 a.m.
What do you do?
So we teaching them from 5 years old to 17. So from 15 to 17, we have like actual rugby team. They're running the rugby. We just teach them about the sports and the core values of the rugby. Because there is something that you can learn from rugby.
What about the business aspect of your life? I know Lenora, your wife, is also into fitness, and I see you all do things together.
So on business-wise, the next big thing is like my Live Like an Athlete program.
Okay.
That's the one like I'm focusing right now because I want to get it out there and influence people to live like an athlete. Because it's not like you wake up and run 15 miles every day, but it's the principle of sports. Like
why don't you turn this around for working professionals like CEOs and VPs and stuff?
Yeah, we do it for the corporate companies too. So that's the main
that's fantastic. Yeah, I'll give you a bit of stat. So there was this, they call this deadlift survey that was done. CEOs who can deadlift more actually have very successful companies. It's strange, right? There's something that came out. You should go and Google it. This is just impressive because I actually believe that there's certain thing that correlates with this fitness, discipline. Forget about motivation. I don't subscribe to motivation. I subscribe to discipline, and even strength. So it gets your mind in a different level. So people who are naturally athletic, who understand fitness, understand strength, tend to do better in their life. if they are guided. So before we leave, I just want to tap your mind on if you could give, I'm a young boy, imagine me as a 10-year-old troubled, 12-year-old troubled boy from Sungai Petani, and you were to give me advice on where you are now, and I've been in this very troubled life, like my friends are all useless, and you know what I mean? What advice, looking back at your life, can you give me?
The choices you make, don't try to fit in. The choices you make, always think about, in 10 years, would you be proud of it or not?
Last question. You must be very proud of yourself now. Your parents must be very proud of you now.
I'm very happy that my parents are very proud of myself.
But are you proud of yourself now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So the last question. When you see yourself in 3 years, where do you see Big Dukey?
In 3 years, I will be a father. Will be a good father. And for me right now, like, okay, I need to get this out, and I will be national team coach. Yeah, and I think I will be on the road to qualifying at that time in 3 years.
Qualifying for what?
Qualifying World Cup for the rugby.
Oh, fantastic.
That's my dream, actually. At the moment, I'm like, okay, I want to work hard on rugby. Has given me a lot. I wanted to give back by at least bring them to a qualifier.
Yeah. But I do believe in grassroots development. I think we need to get the boys in from very young age. So anyway, thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
I'll push your what's it called? Train like an athlete. Is it? Live like an athlete. And it's an amazing story. But before I let him go, I just want you to see how tall is 6'6". I'm about 6'1". Come, stand up. So this is 6'6". You're what? 96 kilos.
Oh, no, 117.
117 kilos. I'm only 95 kilos, huh? Sorry, 97 kilos. Go back. Okay, you got it? Got it?